our summer social media success. Today's June 27th. I'm so happy that you're able to join us. My name is Nick Fry. I'm the manager of business development with Tourism Nova Scotia. And for those of you joining us for the first time or aren't familiar, Tourism Nova Scotia works with communities and industry to attract visitors to the province. And our goal is to increase tourism revenues through experience, sector development, business coaching, marketing, and visitor servicing. I think it's funny that our summer social media success comes in a day when it's pouring rain, but where I am, but that's just the way it is. So happy you could join us. And if you're watching after the fact, thanks for coming back. Speaking of that, this will be recorded. So if you think it's valuable, you'd like to share it with an industry partner, if you want to come back and review some of the things you learned, that's wonderful. If we or KA speaks about any links or resources throughout the presentation, we will make sure we share that after the fact, and we can stay focused on the webinar and not, go chasing logins or anything on new software. So we'll do that after. If you have any questions, post it in the Q&A at the bottom. It's really valuable to move a discussion forward, to have really strong questions and answers and have participants engaged. So thank you for joining us. And I personally hope that you joined us today through Digiport. Digiport is a one-stop shop. It's a partnership with Digital Nova Scotia. I think that's important to mention. And through that partnership, we offer a one-stop shop offered to tourism businesses in Nova Scotia that's unlike anywhere else in Canada. Tourism businesses have access at no cost to one-on-one services where they can book services with specialists. They can read tip sheets on getting some information on areas they need to improve on. They can find out about some of our programs. They can watch our webinars. They can watch previous ones, and they can also connect with us directly. So I hope you join us through Digiport. And if you haven't, please sign up. And if not, if you think it's great, share it and tell a friend. So that's my spiel. So really excited to have KA Social Media, and Kara O'Coin is joining us today. She specializes in working with small and medium-sized businesses that are eager to enhance their social media presence. And I've yet to meet a business that is not eager to enhance their social media presence. She combines natural talent for capturing the attention of the room with social media savvy. And her goal is to help your business stand out in the chaotic world of online marketing. She gets excited and enthusiastic when collaborating to establish a vibrant brand personality for your business through engaging video and photo content. That was apparently a tough one for me. And also, Kara let me know that she comes up with ideas while sleeping. So while the rest of us struggle focusing, she can just come up with ideas. It's one of her special superpowers. So really excited to have Kara here today. So Kara, if you'd like to take over the screen, so excited to have you here and share some of your knowledge. Thank you.
All right.
There we go.
Just making sure I was fully on, not muted, and have my screen on. So thank you, Nick, and thank you for Digital Nova Scotia and Tourism Nova Scotia for having me here today. As Nick said, it's much easier and funner to talk about social media and tourism when it's a nice sunny day like yesterday, but we're going to go ahead with it, and I appreciate everybody that is here today. So for those of you that don't know me, as Nick said, I'm Kara O'Coin Mansfield. I'm the owner of KA Social Media Consulting. I've been in business for almost 10 years, and then over 15 years experience in marketing, events, tourism. I'm from a small tourism village in Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. So I grew up with the tourism industry. I'm a marketing and social media expert, blogger, mom, wife. I've been in HRM since 2001. I came to St. Mary's for my university degree, and I haven't left. I'm a natural connector. I love supporting local businesses, and I'm the author of Explore Like a Tourist Nova Scotia Travel Guide. So what do I like to do in my spare time? I love to support tourism businesses. I love to travel and explore Nova Scotia from a very early age of as a young adult. I decided why am I spending my money to go explore outside of my own province if I don't even know my own province? So in the last 2 years, we have definitely spent lots of time, hours, gas, traveling Nova Scotia, trying new restaurants, supporting local businesses, appreciating what we have in Nova Scotia, and seeking out local tourism experiences. So today we're going to talk about the importance of social media for tourism, the role of a social media manager, how to create engaging content, how to enhance customer service online, because that's a huge thing, tracking and measuring success, And then there's lots of time at the end for questions. I have been given the questions that you guys previously asked, so I've actually kind of either incorporated them into the presentation or they're at the very end. But as Nick said, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and the Q&A. There's lots of time to be answering those at the end. So why exactly should you be on social media? So first of all, there's 4.8 billion social media users worldwide. No matter who your target market is, no matter if you're trying to connect with somebody local or somebody that's coming to visit Nova Scotia, they're on the internet to some capacity. People are spending an average of 3 hours a day on social media. Normally, if I'm actually seeing the people in the room, I'm like, hey, lift up your hand if you're doing more than 3 hours, because I know I definitely am. But with having the phones at our hands, with most people having a computer or multiple computers at their hands, they are spending an average of 3 hours a day on social media. Whether it's on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever it is, they are on social media to some capacity. 88% of consumers recommend brands to their family or friends. If you think back 20 years ago or 30 years ago, or even 15 years ago, if you had to ask somebody's opinion, you ask your mom, your dad, maybe your aunt, your uncle, cousins, friends. But nowadays you can go on the internet and you can essentially ask the world of, where should I stay? Where should I visit? Where should I go eat? What's your favorite coffee shop? And once you want people to recommend your brand, if people are asking the questions that you would fit in that ask. And no matter who your target market is, all generations are on social media. So why does it matter sorry, I hit something that I wasn't supposed to. Why does social media matter for tourism? So as I mentioned, there's over 4.48 billion people that are on social media worldwide. So whether they're new to coming to Nova Scotia or whether they, live here, they're on social media to some capacity. And how does it impact someone's travel decision? So 87% of millennials use Facebook for travel inspiration, and 50% of Instagram users have discovered new travel destinations on the platform. How many times, or maybe it's just me, but do you see a friend that is at a new resort, a new hotel, a new cottage, they're visiting a new restaurant, they're kayaking somewhere, they're on a canoe, and they do a post on Facebook, and either you ask, where are you at? Or if they've tagged them, you're like, boop, follow, and then you make sure you're now following them around. Social media has made that possible. That wasn't possible years ago. So many people are using social media to find things to do either in their backyard or to a new area that they're visiting. 52% of travelers have said social media influenced a change in their travel plans. So how often that yourself as a person, like, well, I'm going to Cape Breton this weekend. And then you see a certain restaurant that's off the beaten path, but you've heard about it, you've seen the reviews, you've seen the amazing pictures. They're like, I'm going to take this little detour and I'm going to go check that out. That, 10, 15 years ago, that wasn't a thing. 74% of travelers use social media while on vacation to share their experiences and recommendations. I'm going to Cape Breton this weekend, and I'm sure that I'll be posting something along my travels, and I'm not the only one that does that. 70% of travelers update their social media status while traveling, which increases the visibility for travel brands. Nick, I'm being like you today, and I can't, fumbling on my words, can't speak today. User-generated content. We'll talk actually quite a bit about user-generated content throughout this presentation, because to me, that is some of the best content that you can create, because it is not you as a brand that's creating content. It's somebody else that is creating content about you. And 83% of people trust recommendations from family and friends over any form of advertising. So instead of them going on to, I don't know, the Quarter Deck resort, and it's not coming from the Quarter Deck, it is coming from somebody else who has been to the Quarter Deck, who has enjoyed the beach there, who has enjoyed the food there, and they're giving the recommendations. And people trust family and friends over something that was paid for. Some of the travel-related hashtags on Instagram that work, hashtag travel, vacation, adventure. These have millions and billions of posts showing the massive amounts of user-generated content. So again, user-generated content it's key. Again, it's the best type of content that you can get. So what are some of the benefits of social media marketing? So first of all, it's to increase your brand awareness. Again, I'm bringing this back in 20, 30, 40 years ago. I don't know, again, who's on that call, that how long you've been in your business, but there are some local businesses in Nova Scotia that have been around for 60 years, 50 years and whatnot. And at the time, they were relating more on word of mouth. Now we can reach a wider audience. That wasn't the case. We can now reach travelers before they are getting to Nova Scotia. We can reach travelers that are potentially in Halifax. They land in Halifax and they're like, where do I go? Do I go down the South Shore? Do I go down to the Valley? Do I go down to Yarmouth? Do I go down to the Eastern Shore? Do I go to the Northumberland Shore? Do I go to Cape Breton? I think I mentioned all those, but we're reaching a wider audience that wasn't the case before. Social media gives you the capability of doing visual storytelling. And that was one of the questions that was asked prior to this workshop. And it was like, is storytelling still a thing? 100% is still a thing. Nova Scotians and people coming to Nova Scotia like to support people that they know their story. They know who is behind the brand and the business. They know this is a family business. We're now into third generation. We're now into second generation. People like to know what's the story behind it. And social media gives us that capability of being able to do that. Hashtag and trends. Those are big things that you can jump on and give your brand more awareness. That wasn't the case. How many times do you see the hashtag Halifax, hashtag visit Nova Scotia, hashtag visit Cape Breton, hashtag discover Halifax? Jump on those bandwagons and use those hashtags, because somebody that is coming to Nova Scotia might be clicking on those hashtags to see, what is Nova Scotia all about? What can I do there? And if you have used those hashtags, there's potential that your post will be tagged onto that hashtag. And then people will see, oh, I want to go rent kayak here. I want to go whale watching here. I want to go eat at this specific restaurant and I want this specific dish that has been talked about. I want to go to the specific cafe. Jump on the hashtags and the trends. That wasn't something that you could do years ago. Enhance the customer engagement. As much as we may not want to think about this and do this, social media has become your customer service line. It is just as important to be answering your customer questions online as it is to be answering a question with someone that is directly in front of you. If you have a retail store, if you have a motel, hotel, resort, cottages, if you have entertainment, if somebody is standing in front of you, you wouldn't ignore them and not answer their questions, right? We need to think of social media that way, because people are going to social media and they're asking the questions there. Yes, they're hiding behind their phones, they're hiding behind their computers, but for many people, this is the way that they now communicate. So how can you increase the customer experience with social media? Having interactive content. Don't just post a picture and just post a picture. Tell a story, ask a question, tell us what's happening, tell us why we should visit your museum, why we should go to your winery, why you are better than the one next door. It's real-time communication. So way back in the day, we didn't have a chance to talk to our customers unless they were physically in front of us. And that might happen one time a year. It might happen once every few years. This is an opportunity for you to answer your customers and your potential customers in real time. They're asking a question and they're expecting an answer pretty much right away. This is a chance for community building. Do you have a campground and you want to build the experience of your campground? Have maybe a group where people are posting, what's happening today. Maybe not even a group, it could be on your page. Today we're having bingo. Tomorrow we're having a scavenger hunt. Tomorrow, the next day we're doing trick-or-treating, in July. We're doing Christmas in July. This is a chance to build the community and to let people know this is what our business is all about, and this is why you should be visiting us. And boosted sales, because again, that's what everybody wants, right? Like we need to make some money. So with social media, it gives you the opportunity to do targeted advertising. So again, I can't see who else is on this call, but who has done targeted advertising? You can actually target to people that are interested in Nova Scotia, people that are coming to Cape Breton, people that are coming to Yarmouth, people that are coming to this specific event, people that have liked your page. You can target, and yes, you can do radio ads, and yes, you can do magazine ads. I've done all of them and I've worked in all of them. But with social media targeted ads, you can see how many people have clicked on it, how many people that, is it male, is it female? And then you can kind of redirect who you're targeting, because is it the female that's making all the decision? Is it the male? What ages are seeing your post and what ages are actually coming to your establishment? You can do promotions and discounts. You can literally be like, it's a rainy day today. Let's do a rainy day promotion and throw that on your social media. You can't do that with print ad. You can't do that with radio because it's not instant. You can do instant discounts and promotions with social media. Influencer partnerships. And this is a bigger conversation. And I know that there's been other workshops with influencers, but a way to boost sales that wasn't a thing way back in the day is working with influencers and working with the right influencer that can help you promote your brand and your business, that their audience is also your potential audience. So what exactly is the role of a social media manager? So the key responsibilities are to create content, to schedule content, and curate content. So if, for example, I'm going to think of the Congrès Mondial that's happening this year in Yarmouth. So they may want to be sharing content from accommodations in the area, from restaurants in the area. So they're not creating specifically the content, but they're curating it, they're sharing it. It is community management. So it is being the customer service. It is answering the questions. It is interacting with people that are interacting with your feeds. It's checking the analytics and reporting what's working, what's not. What time of day are people actually seeing our content, and what time are they interacting with our content? And it's being able to have a strategy and develop strategy and content that relates to your target audience. What are the skills that are needed? First of all, you have to be creative. You have to know your communication and not making spelling mistakes, but knowing. And again, in Nova Scotia too, like, are we promoting your content in French and in English? So those are some of the skills that you can look at depending on what area that you're in. So if you're in a very heavily influenced French area, like say down in the Yarmouth Way or Shetty Way or whatnot, should your content be bilingual? Is it government funded? Therefore, it should be bilingual. And it has to be that who is analytical. So somebody that thinks outside the box and someone that can come up with different ideas, that you don't look like every other restaurant in Nova Scotia, or you don't look like every other accommodation in Nova Scotia, or every other whale watching business in Nova Scotia. And what are the consequences of not monitoring social media accounts? So first of all, it's the missed customer engagement opportunity. As I mentioned, if somebody was in front of you in a store, in a restaurant, in entertainment, in like mini golf, whatever, you would not answer them. People are expecting that when it comes to social media. So you're missing the opportunity to engage, answer the question they want. That could result in lost sales. So say, for example, you are a restaurant, and I'm going to use Spring Garden Road in Halifax, and somebody messages two different restaurants and asks, what's your special today? One restaurant answers, the other one does not answer. Up to 3 or 4 weeks later, they still have not acknowledged this question or this comment. That person most likely went to the business that answered them because they feel warm and fuzzy and they feel important. They feel that, again, the business respects them and the business honors that, I'm going to answer my potential questions and I'm going to be there. It could reduce loyalty. So again, if somebody is a loyal business, and there's people that are going to go to your business regardless if you post on social media or not, but it does increase that loyalty if you give them discount, if you give them a like every time they post, if you give them a heart, if you reply back. People love being responded to. It could be negative brand perception if, again, there is nothing on your feeds, or if questions are being asked and they're never being answered and whatnot. Like, social media is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. It's a conversation. Unresolved complaints. So regardless of if you are monitoring your accounts or not, there will be complaints about your business. I'd be very highly shocked that if, any business in Nova Scotia has never gotten one complaint, because it happens. People have bad days. I've worked in a restaurant, I've worked in a kitchen, I've worked along the Cabot Trail. Life happens and things happen. But again, if somebody was in front of you saying, hey, we paid this much and we're not happy with it. My food is cold. This is not what I ordered. I ordered coffee. This is tea. If you wouldn't resolve it in person, something would happen. People would lose their mind. And that's something that happens online. And the longer you leave the complaint left unaddressed, that could hurt your reputation, because then other people might start joining, and you don't want that. You don't want somebody saying, oh, that happened to me last week. Oh, I was there last night and the rooms were dirty. I paid this much for whale watching and we never saw a whale. I don't know what it is. But anyways, like, you definitely want to make sure that you're answering the question. And again, yes, you can take it offline. It doesn't, the whole conversation does not need to happen on social media, but at least acknowledge it so other people know that you have dealt with it. So it could be like, hey, we're very sorry that you're not happy with insert blank. We would love to talk to you more about it. Here's our phone number, here's our email, or send us a DM. So public criticism, so dissatisfied customers might spread some negativity, and then it goes wider online, and you don't want that. You don't want the negative reviews to start happening because one person had a bad experience and nobody responded to them. It could decrease visibility. So if you are a company that posts once a month, once every week, once every 3 months, that doesn't post at all, then the algorithm penalizes you, because they don't show your followers your content, because they want you to be active on there. Because the longer you are active on there and the more eyeballs you're bringing to your content, you are keeping them on Facebook or on Instagram or on TikTok. So the algorithm and the platforms themselves want you to create content on a regular basis. The followers might decline. I know myself, if I look at an account and they haven't posted in 3 months, I'm usually going to stop following them. I'm like, why am I following them? I'm like, they're not posting. Content gaps, so inconsistent posting can lead to gaps in content, causing followers to forget about your brand. So again, if you are a restaurant and the restaurant next door or down the street is posting every day, they're doing stories, they're doing reels, and you are doing nothing. When somebody's in your area, they might like, oh, hey, we're going to go eat at Joe's Diner because Joe's been posting and it was in my feed and it was top of mind. That I didn't go to Mary's Diner because Mary hasn't posted. So delayed responses. People nowadays expect you to answer within an hour. And honestly, a lot of times it's instant. They're waiting for an answer instantly. So sometimes, again, if you know that you're not going to be there, it's good to have an away message to say like, hey, we don't monitor this 24 hours a day. If your matter is urgent, please call us, or please send us an email, or whatever way that you want them to contact you. That sometimes is the best way to do it. Rumors can spread. The competitive advantages, as I said to somebody else, and market share loss. So lots of things can happen if you do not monitor your social media. So how exactly are we going to enhance your customer service? So we're going to respond promptly. We're going to be authentic and empathetic, which you would be in person, and you're going to resolve issues publicly and privately. Some issues, yes, should not be answered publicly, but at least acknowledge that you've seen the issue, you acknowledge it, I'm aware of the issue, the manager will be in touch, here's our information, and we will deal with it. So to make sure that people don't think that you're just ignoring it. For sample, so use positive feedback, inquiries, and complaints. So things that we should be looking after. So how are we getting people onto our pages? How are we getting them to stay with us and to interact with our brands and our businesses? So here are the platforms that work well for tourism. There's a lot of them. And one question that was asked, and is always asked, no matter who I'm speaking to, what platform should I be on? And the answer to that, to me, is know who your target market is. Once you know who your target market is, then figure out where they're hanging out. So is your target market seniors? They might be hanging out on Facebook. Is your target market teenagers and young adults? They're probably hanging out on TikTok and on Instagram. Are your followers, do they like to read blogs and they like longer content form? Then maybe you should have a blog about your area and about your business. Are people simply going to Google and checking the reviews when they're looking for a restaurant, when they're looking for accommodation? Then you should be active. You should have information on your Google business profile. Are people looking on Pinterest for things to do in Nova Scotia? Know who your target market is, know where they're hanging out, and that's where you should be posting content. What is your content designed to do? And I know that some people like, well, I need to sell, so I need to post about my sales all the time. That's not the way people want to interact. So 80% of your post should be informative, educational, engaging, and entertaining to your audience. 20% should be sales. And I know you're like, oh, that's hard. It's not to say you can't talk about your accommodations. It's not to say you can't talk about your restaurant. Don't be saying buy this every time. So what kind of content can you post? Stories and reels are very popular right now. User-generated content, because that's content from somebody else talking about you. Behind the scenes, people love to know what's happening. You have a special on your menu tonight. Throughout the day, post little teasers about it. You have so you have an accommodation, and this year you have kayaks. Behind the scenes, customer testimonials. People love to see from what's the other people's experience. Here are some things that you could do for stories and reels ideas. Day in the life, how-to guides, things to do in the area, customer spotlights, event spotlights. So here are some other ideas, and the next few slides are going to be ideas of things that I recommend that any business can post about. So first of all, introduce yourself and your business. Many people forget to do that. And they're like, I assume that people know who I am and they know who my business is. No, you should be introducing yourself and your business on a regular basis. So here's an example of one that I did, and this was in September. It's obviously a screenshot that I've used many times before, and I've used pictures of myself. People like to know who they're dealing with. They like to know, okay, the owners of this business is a couple in their 60s. The owner of this business is a young couple in their 20s that just moved to rural Nova Scotia. Showcase your business. How do you expect people to know what to expect if they have never seen anything inside your business because you haven't showcased it? So showcase, if you have your accommodation, show your amenities. Are you right on the ocean? Show the ocean. Hey, we're 5 steps away from the ocean. We have a pool. We have, what do our rooms look like? What are things to see and do in the area? Is there activities for kids? Is there activities in nighttime? Is there shows? Is there events that are happening in your small town? Do I have a restaurant on site? What are the views? Showcase your business. Every time I post a picture of that pool at Fox Harbor, every time I have people ask, where is this pool and is it in Nova Scotia? If you're familiar with this, like those are the chairs at White Point. That's at Shubenacadie Wildlife Park, obviously. And that's the teaser in Mahone Bay. Showcase your business. Promote yourself. This is one thing too that a lot of people are like, I never even thought of that. How do you expect people to know that you have a website, that you have a newsletter, that maybe you have a discount right now? Maybe it's, maybe we're selling 50% rooms today because it's raining. It's Canada Day this weekend. Is there any specials that are happening? Promote yourself and promote those on your feed, because you can't expect people to just know. Do you have dining options? And if so, what are they? People love seeing pictures of food on social media. It's a very, very big thing to showcase your food. That is the Kiwi Cafe, and that is New Scotland Brewing, obviously. But what do you offer when it comes to your restaurant? If you are an accommodation, is there dining on site? If not, what are the restaurants that are nearby? Do you offer picnics? Do you offer dining on the ocean? What do you offer? Quotes. People love quotes. Why don't you use some of the pictures, your own pictures, and throw some quotes on top of them? So this is a picture from Shuby Beach, and that's a Dundee Resort. Okay. So again, take some of your food pictures or take some of your pictures, throw some quotes on top. Life is better at the beach. Calories don't count when you're on vacation. Just different things that, again, resonate with people. But again, you're still putting your business. You could also throw a logo on the back of that, on the bottom of that, for people to know that actually this belongs to Dundee Resort or Shuby Beach. Things to do in the area. So if you are an accommodation or a restaurant, or if you have a museum or whatnot, showcase what else is there to do in the area. Get people to come to your area and spend more days there. So instead of driving through Bridgewater, instead of driving through the valley, instead of driving through Cape Breton, tell people what there is to do and make them stay longer. We were in Tatamagouche last summer, and this was the first time we had been there. This little train was running. I have a daughter. Yeah, we rode that train. We didn't have a choice. We had to wait around. We missed the time or whatever, like it was going in an hour. Yeah, we had to wait for the hour because we were not leaving Tatamagouche before we rode that train. Let people know what is happening. I've already had somebody ask me this year, like, hey, do you know if the train's running yet? And I was like, no, I don't, but I can try to find out for you. I think it's actually July, but those are things that let people know what is happening. Said it Canada Today, what's happening in your town or in your area. People love giving their opinions and they love polls, and it's very easy to do on social media. Ask questions that are related to your business. Do you prefer the ocean or the lake? Do you prefer to have breakfast in bed, or do you prefer to go to a restaurant? Do you prefer to go for a hike today, or would you like to go on the beach? Do you prefer the beach or a pool? Do you prefer sports or relaxing? Prefer, you get it, picnic, restaurant. Anyways, ask those questions, interact with your audience, and give them the option to tell you what they like. So user-generated content, again, I've talked about it, and I will continue to talk about it until the cows come home, but it's any type of content that's created by you that is unpaid. Sorry. Content created by somebody else, and they're not being paid for it. So it is videos, pictures, testimonials, tweets, blog posts, and everything in between. So here's one that I recently did, like last weekend. So Shuby Campground has new vintage vacations. So I have worked with them on the TDAP a few years ago. So when I saw, and we talked about this 3 years ago. So when this finally came to fruition, I'm like, I need to go. And I offered, I said, hey, do you guys want to do an exchange? So they gave me a free night accommodation in response to me giving them content. So we went for the one night, and it was experience. So I have a daughter, so we showcased the beach, we showcased the pump track, we showcased the playground, and how close we were to the city that we didn't want to cook. So we went to get pizza next door pretty much. So again, and they shared it, I shared it on multiple accounts. And I've had multiple people ask about it, ask me about it, ask them about it. So this was a way that for them, they didn't pay me to do it, but we did an exchange. Local hidden gems. So showcase things that are in the area that locals like, but then the regular person may not know about it. Readers like to feel like they venture off the beaten path. So I'm from Shetty Camp, I think I mentioned. The Gypsum Mine was a hidden gem for years. And now it is one of the things that people go to Shetty Camp and they go because they've seen the pictures. They've seen the pictures of the Gypsum Mine. It's a beautiful picture. It's from a beautiful angle. It is, yeah. Anyway, so people never used to go there. It's been there for years. Showcase things that might be out of the ordinary. Testimonials. Testimonials is such a huge thing because again, it's not you saying, yes, we have a great business. It's somebody else showcasing your business and somebody else telling people about their experience. And people like to do things that other people had a great experience with. Behind the scenes. This is your chance to show your guests what goes into the making of your business a success. So readers get an emotional connection with you when they see the work that you put in. So this is a local bakery in Cape Breton. So again, it's showing the workers that are there. It's the bread that's being made. They're there at 4 a.m. doing the things. Showcase what is happening to make your business run. Frequently asked questions. So this is something I saw from TEDx in a few years ago. And it is, if you have a frequently asked question on your website, or you have questions that are asked on a regular basis, it cuts down on the customer service. So include that on your social media. Hey, do you have a frequently asked question for us? Click here to find out your question might already be answered. Or again, have a highlight or a featured post on one of your feeds to say, like, these are the questions. This is when we check in, check out. This is a cancellation policy. This is the dining we have on site. These are the rates. These are our pet policies. cut down the customer service and answer the questions before they were asked. Short form video, I can't even talk about it enough. People love seeing stories and reels. Many people love to watch a video, a short video, prior to, like, instead of reading anything. They're too busy and they're like, oh, I just want to watch 15 seconds of this. And in 15 seconds, I saw this. Short form video is the way to go. If you are not creating video, it is time. What content can you create in the moment? You're like, okay, well, we're busy. So what can we do? Last minute vacancy. So again, did somebody cancel and you're like, hey, we have a room tonight. Long weekend's coming here, somebody cancel. We have a room. Here's what's available. Daily specials, events and activities that are happening that day or that week in your area. I'm not going to stress it enough. Canada Day is coming. Lots of events coming. What's happening in your area? Do you have live music playing? Events or activities happening, tours, new products, services, and then if you have user-generated content. Other ideas, caption this, promote the staff or the owner, testimonials, repurpose old content. You don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to creating content. If your menu is the same as it was last year, you don't need to take a new picture if you had a great picture from last year. Does your waterfront or the front of your building look the same? Do you have a pool? The pool still looks the same. Use things that you might have used last year. I have a client that I've worked with for 5 years now. Literally this week, I'm like, hey, just confirming, are you still making the cupcakes for Canada Day celebrations? Are you still giving out free cookies Canada Day? Yep. Pictures, yep. And they're still going to look the same. Perfect. And I just rescheduled. I just went to my content from last year, rescheduled it, reposted it, and it is scheduled for Monday for Canada Day. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. As was mentioned, when it comes to Digiport, I have lots of content on Digiport and lots of things that I've created. These are some of the ones that you can find underneath my profile. So 45 ideas for your travel or tourism businesses, 43 short form video ideas for tourism, 9 off-season social media strategies to boost your tourism business. There's lots on there. So go on Digiport on your account and look at the content that I've already created for you. So how do you track and measure success when it comes to social media? Check your engagement rate, your following rate, your conversion rate. How are customers feeling about your content? If you are posting content and there's literally silence on all of them, people might not be interested in what you're posting. People are posting videos and there's absolutely nothing happening. So you need to create content that works. Also, if you're in a community, like I'm thinking of Mahone Bay, like that street of all the businesses, help each other out. So if you see that the cafe down the street posted something and you're a gift shop, like each other's post. Because Facebook and Instagram, they don't care who's liking and commenting. They just care that there's engagement. So help each other out. So ways to see the tools that you can use is your Google Analytics, your social media insights. So every platform has insights. So you can check on Facebook. What are your insights for Facebook? You can check them for Instagram. I'm still going to call it Twitter, X, Threads. They all have that feature. There's also third-party tools that you can check, like Hootsuite, Sprout Social, Meta Business Suite has all the tools back there. So that is kind of the big things and the key takeaways from today. So my key takeaways are plan ahead. So know what you're going to talk about. Come up with a calendar and don't just always be doing content on the fly. Plan ahead what you want to post, what you want to tell your people. Know your target market. Who are you trying to connect with? Who are you trying to get into your business? Use the 20-80 rule when it comes to content. Try to get user-generated content. And if you see it, save it and ask them if it's okay to repost it. Use stories and reels. Have a designated team to look at your social media to make sure that you're not missing on anything. Be consistent and engage and check your account daily. I'm going to remind people that I am one of the experts on Digiport. If you found this presentation good and you're like, I would love to dig in more on my business. What are some ideas for my business that's in rural Cape Breton or rural Northumberland Shore? I am available for a one-on-one brainstorming session, free of charge to anybody that has a Digiport account. So I will update my summer calendar right after this call, and you can click on this link and you can book a one-on-one that is paid by Digital Nova Scotia, Tourism Nova Scotia, to help Nova Scotia businesses. So if there's any questions, I haven't even looked to see, I think they were being monitored by somebody else. But yeah, so please follow me online. I have a newsletter that I put out every second week, and there's always information on a blog for small business owners and tourism businesses. And then these are some of the questions that were asked. I don't know if you want to answer them now, Nick, or if you want to see if there's any other questions that were asked. I think I answered a lot of them, but
Why don't we, great job, a lot of really solid content there. Why don't you, if anyone has a question on the call, please just pop it in the Q&A at the bottom. But in the meantime, why don't you just go through any of the questions you don't necessarily feel that you covered, and then if anyone else has a question, great. If not, we'll wrap it up. But I give such great information that sometimes when you provide a lot of content and information, you answer their questions for them. So we'll leave that with you. But why don't you go through these ones and we'll see what happens.
perfect. So the first question was, is it better to have a Facebook account with your voiceover or music? And is storytelling still important? And I think I talked about that storytelling 100%. And a lot of people, again, are like, I don't want to put my face online. I don't want to be. Voice, again, is better than music. Music is better than nothing. So yes, you can have Facebook accounts, especially if it's somewhere like, say, if I'm thinking of one of the beaches in like one of the resorts or one of the cottages, and the beach is your front yard. You can definitely have a Facebook account where you're talking about or you're showcasing the things in the area, you're showcasing the restaurant. Voiceovers would be better than music. But again, nothing. So music is better than nothing. So I don't know if that's answered your question. If again, this person wants to book a one-on-one, we can definitely dig in a little bit more, but yeah. What social app gives you the best output? And that is, again, know your target market. Know who your target market is and where are they hanging out, because the best social app is different for every business and every organization and every tourism business. This question, how does Visit Nova Scotia like to be tagged? That's a Nick question, not a me question. Best social media platform, again, know your target market and where are they hanging out. How to not overwhelm myself or our followers. So I always say that quality content over quantity content. Don't post all day if you don't have time and if it's stressing you out. Pre-planning, the more you can pre-plan. So look at those sheets and look at those templates that I gave you on Digiport, and it gives you so many ideas. So I find with those, like, I would either print them off or look at them and come up with a calendar and then write down, okay, today we're talking about a restaurant, tomorrow we're talking about the accommodation, Friday we're talking about the entertainment, Sunday we're talking about Canada Day, Monday we're talking about Canada Day, and kind of like put it out there and write it out. And then maybe you don't have your caption done for that day, but you know at least what your idea, what you're talking about. So I always know what I'm talking about. For most of my clients, everything's done for the next 2 weeks. And then of course, like this weekend is Canada Day content. It's a long weekend, school's ending. So know to not overwhelm yourself, pre-plan. How frequent should you be posting on social media? Again, depends what your capacity is. Do you have a designated team? Do you have the time? Do you have enough content to post? If summer is your busy season, at least 4 times a week, at least. If you have enough content and it's once a day, it really depends what your business is and what content you're pushing out. For a small business, how to grow traffic to your social media page, post consistently, engage consistently, and you also engage with other businesses in the area. But again, quality over quantity content. How to navigate the influencer portion of social media, that's a whole other ball game, which I don't know if we have time to talk about today. But if you are interested in working with influencers, as I mentioned, like I am a micro influencer. I don't have the 20,000 followers or 50,000, but I am a micro local influencer. And I know a lot of them in town. So book that one-on-one with me and we can definitely chat about the influencers. And I know there's been a lot of other workshops about influencers. What's the best way to reach tourists online? Again, this is where maybe looking into the hashtags, some of the Nova Scotia hashtags, some of the local hashtags, create good content, respond to their questions. And the last question was, do different culture groups and different tourist types with different values and motivations prefer different kinds of stories? And that's a question that I looked at. I'm like, how do I answer this? But again, know who your target market is and know what kind of content they like to what they like to view. So, like I'm French, my first language is French. I'm an coin from Shetty Camp for most people that have maybe figured that out. So I sometimes will post things in French and Acadian and whatnot. And for people in Shetty Camp, yes, it is important to have both languages and to be posting about the Acadian culture. Are they much different content? Well, it's a different language. So this is another ball game that I'm not trying to answer in that sense. But I think again, it's knowing who your target market is and how they like to receive content. So I think I've answered most of that. I see there's things in the chat. I don't even know what's in here. Okay.
No, that's great. That's sorry, Sunny just shared some
That's what I'm
webinars
looking
on
at.
influencers. We also talked about
Okay, perfect.
hashtag Visit Nova Scotia is where you would hashtag anything Nova Scotia related that would get into our channels and then hopefully be elevated further up the chain. So I don't think there's any other questions. So I think I'll take back over unless you have anything else you'd like to share before we do so. Anybody else, if anybody has any interest in booking Kara, you can do so after the fact. So I will do that. Thank you so much, Kara, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.
I am here. Cannot see me. Perfect. So that was a great webinar. I hope everyone enjoyed it. We will pause our webinars for July and August, and we'll resume in September. So we'll be sharing those out probably, early August, hopefully, for signups for September. Again, our applications for the Export Travel Trade Program, June 30th. So check out that if you're interested in upping your game while working with travelers to increase national and international sales. If you'd like to suggest any webinars or any areas of improvement, please send us an email at tnsbusiness@novascotia.ca. You can find us at tourismns.ca. We're on novascotia.com. We also have news and resources on our novascotia.com website where we share webinars, any programming, any relevant dates, or any industry information that we feel is important to share. You can find us on Twitter or X at tourismns, and you can find us on LinkedIn at Tourism Nova Scotia. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.